Ed Easter said unto us, "Good my lords." No, he said, "You have spoken against wearing flashes or a tie of a different tartan than the kilt. However, with the proliferation of tweed kilts and non-clan related tartans, aka universal tartans, how do you feel about wearing a clan tartan accent? For example, if I were wearing Douglas blue flashes to bring out the navy stripe in a Ishkabaha tartan, which is the tartan from House of Edgar."
Yeah, the whiskey tartan from House of Edgar.
It has a very prominent blue stripe. So could you use Douglas blue because it's very blue to bring out the blue in that non-clan tartan, or is that,
or in a blue tweed, or in a tweed with blue in it or something?
Are there exceptions to the rule of mixing tartans, I guess is kind of what he's saying or asking?
For me, personally, my opinion, no. I don't like the look of mixing tartans. I'm okay if you, and this even goes beyond what some people want to see, but I am okay if you wear a tartan necktie with a vest and then the same tartan in the kilt, but I would never, personally, I would never mix and match. I would never ever tell someone to mix clan tartans. What he's saying is, well, what if it's not a clan tartan, or what if it's a tweed kilt or universal?
Yeah.
It still feels weird. It looks weird. I don't know. It's kind of like you're batting for two teams to some degree. At that point, I'd rather have just a solid color. If you're wearing the Ishkabaha tartan, which has it's like browns and like there's a solid navy section in there. If you're doing that and you want to highlight the navy, then I'd wear a pair of navy garter ties or a set of solid navy flashes to highlight it. And to me, that would do a better job than wearing tartan flashes, which in my mind would actually distract more from the tartan. It would look a little more jarring than matched. Does that make sense?
I can see where you're going because this is a little hard to describe because I don't have the sample in front of me, but the Ishkabaha is part of their Hebridean range. It's very muddled. It uses marled thread, and it's meant to look kind of softer and muted and kind of
tweedy,
yeah.
Tweedy without
very,
being
very
tweed.
Just soft and tweedy and cloudy, fuzzy. So you have very nondescript lines, whereas if you had a tartan next to that with the very crisp lines of a typical tartan, where you can definitely just make out the lines, it's going to look like a clash. However, so I don't care for the idea in that particular case, but I would wear a tartan tie sometimes with a very muted tweed like the one I have on now, or a solid color kilt. I have a black kilt, and I will often pair a tartan tie with that outfit. So basically, you just have a pop of the clan tartan, and the rest of the outfit is just kind of like is black, like a shadow tartan. Is my favorite. That's the black kilt I have is a shadow tartan. So like that, or like if you had like a charcoal and black, very contemporary kind of a kilt, and then just a pop of color, which is basically me channeling what you say about Saxon suits. Is basically Saxon suits a lot of time are very, very plain, boring, fabric for the jacket and the pants. So you were encouraged to add the personality,
the pocket square,
and the tie. So you add some color there. So I'm kind of channeling that vibe when I do that. But I have seen actually people intentionally mix clan tartans, and it looks okay. It looks very, very either high fashion or very Victorian, because they did that sometimes back then. I would exercise extreme caution.
Yeah,
if you're gonna try it, and I really don't care for the tartan flashes with either of those scenarios.
I'm hoping that was lightning and not a car crash that we just heard outside. That was awesome. The large boom in the studio. The ceiling's coming in. Come on, guys, it's been
so
nice.
Yeah, I would say.
Sorry.
Can I finish my point, please?
No, I'd rather pretend that we're dying.
No, so yeah, I say maybe a tartan tie with a black kilt is as far as I go, but tartan flashes,
No, it's. I take your point about the solid black or a shadow, a black shadow tartan.
Really subdued.
Tartan flashes or a necktie. Okay, I would give you that. And yes, the Victorian thing. Yes, I've seen outfits where it's McFarlane red jacket or vest or whatever, and McFarlane, green or McFarlane hunting kilt, and it's a very, very over the top thing.
It's usually the waistcoat I've seen. If they're going to
Yes.
change anything, it's the waistcoat is the alternate tartan.
And that can look cool as well.
Yeah, I think
it looks cool, but it's over the top. So
it's in your face. It's definitely in your face.
It kind of gets a little bit more room.
Yeah.
Mr. Mack, you want to add something over there?
Point.
Yeah, so we had a couple people asking questions about this, and some were referencing those Victorian plates where someone's wearing it like a day plaid with a different tartan over the shoulder. But they were saying, well, what about if it's a clan? If you have two clans that are related, so you have one that is a sept of another one, would it be more reasonable to wear two of the same thing because they're related? So that's becoming a question here.
Yeah,
so.
I wouldn't do it. I think it's kind of we've mentioned that before. I just think it's going to look awkward, and to the outside observer, they're just going to see that you're mixing these colors up. They're not going to understand the symbolism behind it necessarily the way you do. Correct. So I would rather, and this is kind of I'll hate myself for saying it, but I would almost rather you do like the tartan of the one clan and the kilt pin, the clan crest of the other. I told you I'd hate myself for saying it, but if you're really trying to show these two mixes of heritage you got and you're desperate to do it, you have to do it, then that's the only way I would do it. The thing about the day plaids, by the way, you gotta watch out. Some of those images, it's actually just a plaid, not a tartan. It's not a clan tartan. It's a bumby. Thank you.
Yeah.
It looks like a tartan to us in the paintings, but it's actually just kind of a generic stripey dipey thingy wingy.
Stripey dipey thingy wingy.
Stripey dipey wingy.
Indeed. To answer directly, I wouldn't. It's just, again, my personal opinion. One man's opinion. I wouldn't. Just pick one and do that. If you want to wear another one on another day, great. Then do that one on the other day. But Americans have this burning desire. This is one thing I've noticed. We have this burning desire to represent all the things all the time and mash it all together. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, we end up going over the rainbow a little bit, and we end up getting closer to a caricature of the thing versus the thing. The one consistent message that I would say in Highland wear is simpler is generally better. You don't need to do all of the clan crest items and all of the tartans and all of the things all at the same time, because nothing stands out. It's all standing out. It's like, think of it this way. It's like in your textbook in school, if you're highlighting everything on the page, you're not highlighting anything. That's essentially what you're doing.
Yeah, okay.
So,
okay.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah, because I was going to say, it's kind of, we're just trying too hard to come up with the perfect outfit. Like, it has to be one outfit. And sometimes, you don't see the forest for the trees because your passion is getting in your way a little bit. I do think, we've said before, like, if it's a weekend, like you're going to a festival or something, you're planning on doing more than one day, then change it up. Represent the one part of the heritage one day and the other part of the heritage the next day. And that's a valid way to do it too.
Yeah,
give them each their own space.
I like that phrase. Your passion's getting in your way. It's I feel that personally as well in certain things I do.
I know there's a Pelham's maxim that applies to this. I just can't remember which one.
Yes. Now it's take your time with it. You don't have to do all the things all at the same time. Do one and do it well on one day, do another and do it well on another day. That being said, if you want to do it and you have to wear all the things, and the world will not end. You will still spin on its axis around the sun.
And I definitely have seen people do it. Like they'll do the most common variant I've seen is the tartan kilt, and then the necktie is a different tartan. Like it's like, well, this is my one clan, this is my other clan, or this is the Stuart hunting, and this is the Royal Stuart. I've seen that the most often. Some guys can pull it off, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah, so it's personal preference. We are coming at it from a traditional leaning angle, and trying to give you guys the conventions. It's up to you. It's up to you to decide which things you want to do and not do. And we're here to guide you. And if you want to listen to us, great. If you don't, great. How about it?
Do I have to put a quarter in the you do you jar?
What? What did you just say? Go put $1 in the jar right now. Are you serious? Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Am I right on, or do you disagree completely and you wear clan tartans from different clans or different tartans of the same clan? Let us know in the comments. If you want to see other videos we've done on tartans specifically, check out these videos over here. And if you want to shop with us, go check out usakilts.com. If you want to be part of the community, go to Facebook and search for the group Kilts and Culture and join, and we'll have a nice chat. That sounded weird, but I don't care if it sounded weird. Have a good day, guys.